One of the most difficult decisions for a trainer to make has to be choosing a starter Pokemon. And can you really blame us? I mean, these beginner Pokemon are essential to everyone's team. We've already done videos on the Kanto, Johto, and Hoenn regions, so today we're going to be taking a trip to the Sinnoh region to decide which starter is best suited to accompany you through the games. Turtwig, Chimchar, or Piplup. And I have to say, out of all the starter Pokemon pairs, this trio is the most difficult to pick from.
Luckily, we're here to make it easy for you.
Oh. You're here?
Yeah. We worked on this all week, remember? We even scripted this part in.
Damn it, Speqtor, you're breaking the fourth wall! You're tearing open the space-time continuum! Huh. This is weird. Well anyways, today Speqtor and I are going to help you guys make the right decision on what statistically is the best starter. Of course there is no right or wrong choice on which starter to pick, but there definitely is a best Pokemon to choose that would benefit you the most.
And no, we didn't just look at the league itself and make our decision based on that alone. We also took into account Team Galactic and its commanders as well as your rival, since both parties play a prominent role in the main story. We also looked at each important character's individual Pokemon and rated each starter's level of advantage or disadvantage on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being totally disadvantaged and 5 being at the best advantage. Or TLDR, we used math to help us decide. Type matchups, movesets, stats, and all. So there is no arguing this one this time, okay? Please, just shut up. Shut up.
Yeah. We did some math and I'm Asian, so we're pretty much right.
Wow, that's racist.
And my dad works in Nintendo, and my mom is actually Junichi Masuda, so yeah, I know everything. We also want you to know that even though there is one choice that is the best mathematically, our findings for each starter were so close that each one only did better than the last by just a hair. Meaning they're all so close in power that their difference is almost indistinguishable. They're all great. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. And with that being said, let's get started.
Let's start things off with my favorite of the three, Turtwig. This little dirt-shelled twig turtle eventually becomes the island-clad continent Pokemon Torterra, who despite a few glaring weaknesses can be a valuable asset to your Sinnoh squad. Surely he's the best choice, right?
No. I'm sorry to say this, Speqtor, but Turtwig, although by a very small margin, is actually the worst starter to pick. You see, although Torterra would do great against gym leaders like Roar, Crasher, Wake, Byron, and Volkner, he doesn't really get much done anywhere else.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Aside from the few places that Torterra shines, it either falls even at 3 or, more commonly, is at some sort of disadvantage, thanks to its weaknesses to common types like flying and fire, as well as its 4 times weakness to ice, which for some reason is scattered about Sinnoh a lot more commonly than in other regions.
Another key point to add is Torterra's effectiveness, or I guess in this case, ineffectiveness, against your rival and most of Team Galactic's leaders. With Barry, Torterra faces a huge problem against a Staraptor, Heracross, and Fernape, and even to an extent Floatzel, which has Ice Fang. And against Team Galactic, Mars and Jupiter both have a Golbat with Air Cutter and a Bronzor with Levitate. And without the ground type moves, Torterra is not touching Bronzor at all. Even their aces can counter Torterra.
The same can be said for Saturn, whose Toxicroak is rocking X-Scissor in its final battle. Torterra's only advantage in terms of Team Galactic is against Grunts, who tend to have a lot of poison types for Torterra to Earthquake through, but that's only when it's a Torterra. Turtwig and Grottle get absolutely destroyed by Team Galactic's poison types. And just look at Cyrus's team. This team eats Torterras for breakfast.
And it's not done there. Once you beat the evil team in the gyms, your next task is to beat the Elite Four and Champion. And guess how Torterra fares there? Not very good. As soon as you hit the first Elite Four member, you're going to have a bad time. Aaron's bug types literally mow down Torterra like a weed.
Is that a grass joke? Because I'm Mexican?
What the f is wrong with you? Well, anyways, while Torterra does have the clear advantage over Bertha, that's the only advantage it has in the entire Elite Four.
Flint. Okay, we don't need to say anything about Flint. Lucian, on the other hand, doesn't beg for much to be said. Torterra is at a standstill against his psychic Pokemon, and even falls victim to Medichamp's Ice Punch in Diamond and Pearl, and Espeon's Signal Beam in Platinum. Finally, Cynthia is Cynthia. Torterra's only advantage against any of her Pokemon are her Gastrodon in Diamond and Pearl, and maybe her Lucario and Milotic, but only if you're able to live a hit from Lucario's powerful Stab or a Sphere, or Milotic's Ice Beam, which isn't likely, or Outspeed, which is even less likely. Then there's her Spiritomb Silverwind and her Togekiss's Air Slash in Platinum.
Pairing all of that along with its abysmal move pool really shows why Torterra is the most difficult to use in the Sinnoh region. So that obviously means that Piplup is the best starter. I mean, it's really obvious if you just take a look at it. Taking into account all the gym leaders, it only really struggles with Gardenia and Volkner. And all those problems that Torterra had in the Elite Four never really happened with Empoleon. It goes even with Aaron, can easily beat Bertha and Flint, and has some minor difficulties with Lucian. It only really struggles with Cynthia, but come on. Who doesn't struggle with Cynthia? And don't even get me started on how much easier Team Galactic is. All of these points have to make Empoleon the best starter, right? Right? Spectre, you with me?
Well, not exactly. While our little flightless Napoleon bird does have a few more advantages than Torterra, Empoleon's biggest problem is its newfound weakness to fighting and ground type moves, which are all too common among the Sinnoh League. Sure, it has a new immunity to poison types, thus knocking out most of Team Galactic as a whole. It still has problems with a lot of important characters' teams like Gardenia and Volkner, as you mentioned earlier, Saturn, Cynthia, and of course Barry. And since you glossed over it, Empoleon actually has a lot of problems with Lucian. Yes, it resists all of the Stab psychic moves, but Lucian's team is also packing moves like Thunderbolt, Thunder Punch, Focus Blast, Earthquake, and Drain Punch.
Yeah, I guess you're right when you put it like that. Plus, one of Empoleon's biggest problems is the lack of decent steel moves to use and situations to use them. While yes, it does get Flash Cannon by TM, it doesn't really serve much of a purpose except when facing Candace and I guess kind of Bertha.
Exactly. Empoleon's Achilles heel is its steel typing for sure. Between a lack of good stab moves to use and places to use them, paired with the added weakness to commonly seen types, Empoleon was a step in the right direction, but Game Freak stumbled in that step, which leaves just one option left. Chimchar.
Oh, of course, the fire type again? I really should have seen that coming. But honestly, if you look at the numbers, it really does make sense. Yes, if you have a Chimchar to fight Rourke, it does struggle, but all you have to do to avoid that problem is just evolve it into a Monferno. Once you do that, it gains the fighting typing along with an immediate access to Stab Mach Punch. After that, Infernape pretty much goes even or has an advantage over most of the game, aside from a few important characters' teams.
Infernape does have a few problems here and there, namely Crash or Wake, Bertha, and Lucian, but against the likes of Gardenia, Byron, Candace, Barry, Aaron, Mars, and Jupiter, Infernape has a good number of advantages. It rarely falls victim to any disadvantages spared Saturn, Cyrus, and of course Cynthia, and more often than not can sweep teams with its high offensive and speed stats, regardless of ever even falling even with an opponent.
And to go along with its amazing stats, it also has a great move pool. Moves like Stone Edge, Shadow Claw, Earthquake, and Solar Beam really come in handy to counter Infernape's weaknesses. Sure, the other starters have some moves to counteract their weaknesses, but they're a bit too slow to make use of them very often.
By no means are we saying that Torterra and Empoleon aren't able to counter their weaknesses, because of course they can. It's just that Infernape can do it better and far more often thanks to its speed. In terms of Infernape's advantages across the entire Sinnoh League and the Gen 4 plot, the numbers just don't lie. Infernape just has the slightest of upper hands. Plain and simple. Sorry, Torterra. I still love you though.
Torterra is terrible.
Torterra is terrible. F you.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and let me know in the comments section below. As we said before, even though this is based on numbers and facts, the numbers are so close that each starter is pretty much just as good as the next. So let us know what your favorite Sinnoh starter is in the comments section below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and become an Eryizo today. I also want to thank my good friend Speqtor for joining me today and really just being a big help on the research. He actually did most of the math, so yeah. Be sure to click the iCard link on the top right or follow the link in the description to go check out Speqtor's channel. If you want to see some more content about Generation 4 Pokemon, click the annotation here to go watch a rap video by Matt, which features the names of every single Generation 4 Pokemon used in a pun. It's an awesome video and Matteo is an amazing rapper. If you want to see my other best starter videos, click the other annotation here. And with that being said, I will see you guys next time.